The beginning is always today. Nothing is so painful to the human mind as a great and sudden change. Life is obstinate and clings closest where it is most hated. Invention, it must be humbly admitted, does not consist in creating out of void, but out of chaos. The companions of our childhood always possess a certain power over our minds which hardly any later friend can obtain. Beware, for I am fearless and, therefore powerful. There is something at work in my soul, which I do not understand. The very winds whispered in soothing accents, and maternal nature bade me weep no more. My dreams were all my own. I accounted for them to nobody. They were my refuge when annoyed, my dearest pleasure when free. The world to me was a secret, which I desired to discover. The fallen angel becomes a malignant devil, yet even that enemy of God and man had friends and associates in his desolation. The man who never alters his opinion is like standing water, and breeds reptiles of the mind. I have love in me the likes of which you can scarcely imagine, and rage, the likes of which you would not believe. A human being in perfection ought always to preserve a calm and peaceful mind and never to allow passion or a transitory desire to disturb his tranquility. If I cannot inspire love, I will cause fear. Beware, for I am fearless, and, therefore powerful. Solitude was my only consolation, deep, dark, death-like solitude. Life, although it may only be an accumulation of anguish, is dear to me, and I will defend it. My spirits were elevated by the enchanting appearance of nature. I saw with shut eyes, but acute mental vision. I saw the pale student of unhallowed arts kneeling beside the thing he had put together. The world was to me a secret, which I desired to divine. The miserable and the abandoned are as one. I am alone and miserable, only someone as ugly as I am could love me. I busied myself to think of a story, one which would speak to the mysterious fears of our nature and awaken thrilling horror, one to make the reader dread to look round, to curdle the blood, and quicken the beatings of the heart. The very winds whispered in soothing accents, and maternal nature bade me weep no more. How dangerous is the acquirement of knowledge, and how much happier that man is who believes his native town to be the world, than he who aspires to be greater than his nature will allow. The fallen angel becomes a malignant devil, yet even that enemy of God and man had friends and associates in his desolation. Nothing contributes so much to tranquilize the mind as a steady purpose, a point on which the soul may fix its intellectual eye. I have love in me the likes of which you can scarcely imagine, and rage, the likes of which you would not believe. I had admired the perfect forms of my cottagers, their grace, beauty, and delicate complexions, but how was I terrified when I viewed myself in a transparent pool. The agony of my feelings allowed me no respite. No incident occurred from which my rage and misery could not extract its food. Life and death appeared to me ideal bounds, which I should first break through, and pour a torrent of light into our dark world. I am malicious because I am miserable. Am I not shunned and hated by all mankind? How mutable are our feelings, and how strange is that clinging love we have of life even in the excess of misery. I beheld the wretch, the miserable monster whom I had created. My heart was fashioned to be susceptible of love and sympathy, and when wrenched by misery to vice and hatred, it did not endure the violence of the change without torture. I had worked hard for nearly 2 years for the sole purpose of infusing life into an inanimate body. The cup of life was poisoned forever, and although the sun shone upon me as upon the happy and gay of heart, I saw around me nothing but a dense and frightful darkness. penetrated by no light but the glimmer of two eyes that glared upon me. I was benevolent and good. Misery made me a fiend. I am alone and miserable. Only someone as ugly as I am could love me. I pursued nature to her hiding places. Learn from me, if not by my precepts, at least by my example, how dangerous is the acquirement of knowledge and how much happier that man is who believes his native town to be the world than he who aspires to become greater than his nature will allow. The moon gazed on my midnight labors, while, with unrelaxed and breathless eagerness, I pursued nature to her hiding places.